All right. Hey everyone, welcome to week 6 of Kubernetes 134. And yeah, before we start the meeting, I would like to remind you all that we are part of the Kubernetes community and that we abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which basically boils down to be excellent to each other, both in the meetings and like wherever it is you interact with folks, be it Slack or GitHub. Yeah, with that out of the way, we can get started with the meeting. I don't see anything in the open discussions. Does anybody have any items for open discussion? All right, I think that's a no. So we can go ahead with the sub-team updates. First, we have enhancements with Sean.
Okay, probably a quick one for us this week. We had our freeze party last Friday with the official enhancement freeze happening. There were a couple keps that were just really close and ended up being ready 35 minutes after the freeze timeline deadline. So we had 2 exceptions that went through and were already approved. So our final number is 72 tracked keps for this release, unless we get any more exceptions, but that looks pretty stable at this point. So now relatively quiet for enhancements. We've got about a month until code and test freeze. That's it.
Awesome. And yeah, kudos to all the enhancements team folks for all the work that they do. 72 is a big number. Yeah, does anybody have any questions for enhancements? All right, I'll take that as a no. On to docs with Arvind.
Yeah, for dogs, the status is green. Our last week France and PR are still pending, but it has been closed now and the last week we discussed. This week's France and PR has been merged as well. And the release notes we are for Alpha 1 has been created and is kind of we had some issues creating it using Calibre. We have some issues. Regarding the docs place that we are, sorry, docs place that at that time will be reaching out to tech enhancements latest file.
All right. Yeah, Arvind's audio was a bit not clear for me towards the end. But yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. Release signal should have gone after enhancements. We can get back to that. Sorry about that. But does anybody have any questions for the docs team? I guess that's a no. The status is green. So moving on to release signal with Ellie.
Yes, Ellie here. So again, I think this is going to be a short one. Our current status is green. This week we had 3 failings on master blocking. We also have a couple of flaking tests in master blocking for the CRIO node end-to-end conformance test. And we have a master informing Windows issue also. All of these tests has been marked as non-blockers, and well, the signal was provided to the branch manager, and we have happily the Alpha 2 release code. So everything seems to be going in place. Everything seems to be non-blocking, and we have like some issues that we keep tracking, but as I said, they are non-blocking. So that will be it for releasing now. Do you have any questions? If not, thank you.
So thanks, Ellie. Yeah, I don't think anybody has any questions for release signal, so we can move on to comms with Deepesh.
Yep, so the status for us is green this week. So we have started the reach out, the first opt-in reach out for the blocks on the tracked cap. So we had initially 3 caps that have opted in. The opt-in process is still in progress. We are aiming to complete the first opt-in outreach by this week. On the second item, we have the release highlights issue that has been open. So we are going to reach out to the SIGs to give inputs for the release highlights. That's it in terms of update for this week. If there are any questions from comms, I'm happy to take those. Okay, thanks then.
Thanks, Deepesh. Yeah, if there are no questions for comms, we can move on to release branch management with Angelos.
Yep, I don't see Matteo in the call, so yeah, I can give the update. So we got a green signal for Alpha 2, which is underway right now. Satya is cutting the release, and there is a Slack thread there. Yeah, no blockers. We're just going. Satya's time is like he's like going into the night. So if it takes too much time, someone else will take over. But we should have Alpha 2 by the end of the day. That's all.
Yeah, thanks, Angelos. Does anybody have any questions for the release branch management team? All right, I'll take that as a no. Next is our emeritus advisor. Over to you, Fred.
Yeah, hello. Right, so I'm trying to close the onboarding situation before I'm moving to some other tasks. As per last week, we already had the main onboarding sessions. There have been a couple of people reaching out. They weren't able to attend any of them. And I've been addressing that through private messages and arranging some sessions. Still waiting on a couple of slots for next week. After that, I'll just give it up as finished, and hopefully everyone that, especially those that are a first time shadow, will be will have been present in one of the sessions. And that's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Fred. Does anybody have any questions for the EA? All right. Yeah, moving on to release lead. Vyom had mentioned that he would be skipping this call, and I don't see him in the call either, so I can read out the updates for him. So the updates from the release lead are everything that has already been covered by the different subteams. As Angelos mentioned, we have the Alpha 2 release cut today, and we've got a green signal. And the release cut is currently underway. And from enhancements, we had 2 exception requests after the enhancements freeze last week, and both the caps have been approved for the enhancements freeze exception. And the docs placeholder PR deadline is next week, for which the docs team is like tracking all the caps right now. And yeah, like Vyom congratulates everyone for their great work so far. So yeah, keep it up, folks. Does anybody have any questions for the release lead? Vyom is not on the call, but we can like keep it in record, so we can come back to it later on. All right. If there are no other questions for the release lead, next step is SIG scalability, for which I don't see any updates. I hope the status is green, which is usually the case when there are no updates. Does anybody have any questions for SIG scalability? I'm guessing no. Yeah, with that, we are at the end of today's release team meeting. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to talk about in the recording? All right. That seems like a no. I will stop the recording now. Thanks everyone. Thanks. Bye bye YouTube.